Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. As you know, today we will have a around 2-hour seminar for ITOs. This project is today as a result of a joint effort between the technical committee chaired by Mr. Nico Blatt here with us and the Pan-American Federation. I would like to thank to you and to our presenters and panel that are with us. I will introduce you in the order that they will present today. Mr. Pedro Sanchez from Australia, that will present the ethics presentation. Then we'll have Madame Reiko Shinem from Japan, that will introduce us to the Chief Marshal topic. And to finish, from Europe, from Serbia, our friend Milan, that will introduce us to the technical controller. We have Joseph Triolo, also as part of our panel. He is member of the Pan-American Weightlifting Federation Technical Commission. Thank you, Joseph, from the United States. So again, welcome. Thank you, everybody. And please let me give the floor to the president of the technical committee of the IWF and vice president of the IWF, our friend Nico Blatt. Nico, you have the floor. Your microphone, please, Nico. Your microphone, please.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you very much for having me. I would like to welcome all of you guys. It's a good project. This is the second seminar of between cooperation between IWF and Pan-American. The first one was last week in Spanish, so this time it's in English. So we have a member of the technical committee, and I would like to thank them for their efforts to make everything happen on this project. And our goal and our plan is to have for each continent same seminars. I mean, in different languages. As I mentioned last time, we would like to have in French. We would like to have in Russian language. We have an Arabic language, Chinese language, and English, of course. So we want to do those seminars continent by continent. Unfortunately, this is our days, our life. So we have to get together through to the technology this time, and it's our opportunity to keep up, inform our technical officials, and to keep them update, and to keep them, let's say, busy. But it's good for all of us to be together and to try to find solution. And I'm sure for in the future we can develop this kind of seminars. And also we have planned for competitions online and some other things. So I would like to welcome all of them who registered, because I understood it's 160 something, 61 or 65 people, technical official registered. So it's a good number. And I wish to all the lecturers good luck and good explanation and good understanding for our audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. A couple of practical considerations. First, if you want to ask any question, please check the bottom of your screen and you will have the questions and answer. Please don't use the chat. Please use questions and answer. Some of the questions will be answered during the presentation. Some of them after each presenter, if there are many questions, we will have all the questions and answer in our website in around 1 week. Don't worry. Okay? Second, after the first two presentations by Mr. Pedro Sanchez and through Madame Reiko Chinen, we will have a 5-minute break before our friend Milan presentation. So that's it. Good luck. Enjoy and learn.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good afternoon. Yes, the first section is the ethics presentation. So this is the IWF Technical Officials course, Ethics. The technical officials in weightlifting need to act as impartial judges. When you talk about impartiality, it means that we give equal treatment and we are fair to all participants. The next part of that is we need to perform our duties with accuracy, consistency, and objectivity. We can't be subjective. We need to treat every case on its merits. We need to display the highest sense of integrity, ensure that the field of play, which is the competition area, including the warm-up area, is safe for all athletes and all officials. We must know the rules with absolute assurance. It's not good enough just to know that there is a rule in the rule book, the TCRR. We need to know them. It should only be as a last resort that we need to refer to the TCRR. We should know them off by heart. We must apply the rules, not interpret the rules without fear or favour. And we must use a degree of common sense when confronted by non-technical issues. Not all issues or questions that occur during a competition are purely technical. We must judge what we see, not what we thought we saw. So our decisions must be instantaneous based on what we actually see, rather than sitting there pondering what did we think we saw. Because as time moves on, what we think we saw changes. Ensure that we make the right decision when to act or when not to act. Sometimes there's no need to act, so let's not be too visible. When we see a fault, we do need to act immediately. We must apply ourselves in a professional manner, including presenting a professional image, a good image, being punctual, being and remaining attentive. There's no point standing there as a technical controller just looking around up at the sky or the ceiling. Assisting whenever and wherever possible in every area when asked or requested. We work as a team, so we need to help each other. Being friendly with colleagues, and above all, don't lose our nerve. We must be seen and be in absolute control at all times. Please remember, as a professional, nothing else will do. The best technical official in the world is the one who makes the fewest mistakes. The most excellent technical official in the world is the one who learns from those mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So if anybody makes a mistake, that's including ourselves, we need to learn from that so we don't repeat the mistake again. What is required from an international technical official? The most important consideration for us as technical officials are the athletes. We've got to be thinking at all times, how can we make the environment more comfortable for the athletes according to the technical rules? Everything is within a framework of the technical rules, the TCRR. If the athletes are happy, we will be happy too. We need to make sure that the warm-up room is in a proper state and is run properly according to the rules. The weighing room is appropriate. We're running on schedule according to the timetable set up for the competition. During the competition, the lifting order is correct. We must run by the rules on the order of lifting. The referee's decision need to be quickly and correct. The official results, when we publish them, they need to be correct. We can't have mistakes or no's. So we need to know and understand the IWF rules, the TCRR. This is very important for the success of the competition. We can't be going around interpreting. We need to apply the rules. We also need to consider the audience, because it's very important that we engage the audience. It becomes much easier for the athletes to compete if we are following the rules. Everything in the competition hall is prepared. It's also much easier for the audience to understand if we are following the rules, because a lot of our audience is educated, and we need to present the competition in a professional manner. A good competition means that it's exciting, it's interesting, people will love it, and people of all ages of all ages will want to try our sport. This is the basis for the development of the sport of weightlifting. The efforts of the organisers and the technical officials are critical for the success of the competition. Technical rules are made for the athletes so that it's fair for everybody, so that we don't make mistakes, and that it's safe for all the athletes. For the audience, the rules make the competition easy to understand, exciting, and we need to take into consideration our TV audience, which is the greater part of the audience. As technical officials, we need to be working and checking each other. So we work together and we check everything we do, the apparatus and anything else on the field of play. The scoreboard needs to be correct. The attempt board, we need to be applying the 1 kilo rule. The announcements need to be creative and reflect what's actually happening on the platform. The scoreboard needs to reflect what's happening on the platform. We need to be warning the audience, whether it be in live or via the TV, when something is coming up. So 3 minutes before the start of the competition, when an athlete has 1 minute or 2 minutes. So all these things are critical for the successful running of the competition. Life becomes a lot easier for a technical official if they imagine themselves as either the athlete, the coach, or as a member of the audience. Because when you do that, it will be easier for you to look from their eyes and identify any potential problems and solve the problems before they occur. The inside of the venue should be compliant, must be, not should be, compliant with the technical rules. Absolutely necessary for the safety of everybody. It needs to be safe and comfortable for the athletes. It will make it easier for the coaches to work in the warm-up area and then on the outside the platform when guiding their athletes. It should be impressive for the audience and the TV so that we project a good image of our sport that is entertaining and exciting. It will make everything easier for the technical officials if everything's in place and we are following the rules. Serious offences for international technical officials. Being involved as a team officials. At no time during a competition should any technical official be involved with any team at the competition. There is no excuse for this. We see it happening time and time again. A technical official is there purely as a technical official. They cannot be involved with their country assisting as a team official. Being late or absent for the weighing. The competition is not a cultural nor a sightseeing trip. In other words, you're not on a holiday. You're there to do your job. Do your job. Don't wander around as though you're a tourist. Being late for the introduction of officials. Very often you will find that officials will arrive on time before the start of a competition and then go and get a coffee. And at the very last minute, you're looking for these officials to line them up for the presentation. That is not good enough. You need to be there half an hour before the competition and stay around so that you're in view of the technical controller, ready to be lined up to be presented. The other thing that often happens and should not happen is returning you to your country before the end of the games or championships. This throws everything into absolute chaos because the schedule is set up with the assumption or requirement that every official is there for the full duration of the country. Unless prior arrangements are made or there's an absolute emergency, nobody should be returning to the country before the end of the games or championships. Any of the above could result in yourself as an official not being selected for future competitions. Records are kept on attendance and performance at competitions. To be an exceptional technical official, a technical official must keep the athletes completely safe under all circumstances. Observe the technical rules, but use a degree of common sense for non-technical issues. Get along with other officials and help each other. We are a team. We need to work as a team. If we experience difficulties, don't be angry. Analyze what happened. There's always a good reason why something happened. So let's look at it. Let's work out what happened and let's not repeat the same thing again on another competition. Be punctual, prepare well, solve the problems. Don't generate more problems. And last but not least, read the IWF rules, the TCRR, again and again. It should be second nature. You must know them by heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Pedro. We are receiving some questions. We will check it and answer. And now I'm giving the floor to our friend Reiko Shinen. Chief Marshal is the topic.
Good afternoon to Panamericas. Very good morning from Japan. I'm Reiko Chinen, technical committee member of the IWF. I'm going to speak about Chief Marshal. Chief Marshal is very, very interesting position. I love it because we can see the tactics of the coaches at the same time, mostly the warming up of the athletes. So we can expect what will happen near future and big fighting among the athletes. It's really, really fun position. But this is very difficult because if the chief marshal make mistake, then it will destroy the competition. So we need full knowledge of the technical rules, IWF-TIS and some skills, and we need to concentrate. So chief marshal's duty is to accept or refuse the modification made by the coaches on the attempt to be taken, and to communicate the information to the competition management system operator about the requested attempt. Therefore, at the major IWF events such as Youth Olympic Games, World Championships, and the Universiade, Chief Marshal must speak English, and of course, they must be the international category 1 and appointed by the IWF. It's very important. So, this is an athlete card. The easiest way, because many times, many coaches are rushing to the marshal's table. what they write, what we write, it's better to be defined. So the best practice is let the coaches to use black pen or blue is possible. And for the Marshal side, we use red pen. And also, it's better to ready for any cases. So during the break between the snatch and the clean and jerk, we should calculate the minimum weight of the clean and jerk according to the 20 kilos rule. And it should be written clearly by our red pen. For example, this athlete's entry total is 280, and he did first attempt of the snatch as 120. So how to calculate is 280 minus 20 minus the first attempt of the snatch 120 equal 140. So during the break, Chief Marshal should write this minimum weight of clean and jerk, so that if the coach came to the Marshal's table to change to below 140, you can immediately deny, refuse the request. If 140, then possible with some other technical rule conditions, but at least to avoid the 20 kilos rule breach. So it makes you more relaxed during the competition. And it is very important to compare the athlete card and scoreboard screen. So you have to compare from time to time, because sometimes what you transferred may not have been recorded correctly. And most of the mistake or accident during the competition happens because of those weights are not compared from time to time. So whenever you have 2 minutes or whenever the coaches do not come to the officials, Marshal's table, you should compare each athlete card and monitor on the screen. And you have to be careful about the coding order. So you have to judge if the change is valid or not by checking the other athletes' attempt. For example, we have 4 athletes and everybody is declaring for the first attempt as 150. So athlete number 1 was scored. He lifted, he succeeded. According to the automatic increment, the second attempt, the computer shows 151, but this athlete declared 155. Then athlete number 2 was scored. He lifted, he succeeded, and he declared 160. Athlete number 3 is scored. He also succeeded and he declared 155. Athlete number 4 was scored and he succeeded and he declared 160. Then the next one is number 1. Number 1 is scored. succeeded, and he declared 160 for the third attempt. The next one is athlete number 3. He was called and the clock has been started. Then after that, athlete number 2 came to the marshal's table to change to 155. In that case, you have to refuse. Sorry. Important point is if the 155 for number 3, if the clock has been started, it is too late for athlete number 2 to reduce to 155. But if the clock has not been started for athlete number 3, then you can accept athlete number 2, 155. So you have to see the clock. You have to check when they came. So we have to review IWF-TIS 666. It is talking about calling order. The calling order is first the weight of the barbell, of course, lightest weight first. Number 2, the number of the attempt, of course, the lowest number first. Then the sequence or order of the previous attempt. So the athlete who lifted earliest is the first. Then if everything is the same, then we go back to the start number of the athlete. Also important is, even though the request of the changes follows the calling order, the TCRR 6610 has been applied for the deadline of the decreasing. It means in order to decrease the weight, the clock must not have started for the athlete. So always the chief marshal must pay attention to the timing clock. So chief marshal must look at the timing clock when coaches of called athletes come to decrease or increase the weight. In the normal 1 minute attempt, everything must be done within the first 30 seconds. But in case of 2 minutes, declaration for the next attempt must be done within the first 30 seconds. And before the last 30 seconds, change of the weight will be available only if the coach or athletes declare the next weight within the first 30 seconds. So the rule 6612 says in successive attempt, which means 2 minutes case, the coach must declare the next weight to the marshals within the first 30 seconds of the 2 minutes, even if it is the automatic weight. Otherwise, the athlete has to accept the weight shown by the computer. So that is why we have the sound of the referee signal at the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds. So the timing clock starts from 2 minutes, and when it becomes 1 minute 30 seconds, the system makes sound. It means this is the deadline for the declaration of the next weight. And at the last 30 seconds, system makes sound. It means after that, nobody can change the weight of the barbell. And if the coach declared the next weight within the 30 seconds, for example, this athlete succeeded 100 kilo at the first at the first attempt. Then, according to the automatic weight, this athlete is scored as 101 kilo. Then, if the coach came to declare this automatic weight of 101 or more for the second attempt within the first 30 seconds, then this coach can change after the first 30 seconds for the first change. In this example, this is 105. And before the last 30 seconds, this coach can make another change, such as 107. So on the scoreboard, it looks like 3 times change, but this 101 is automatic weight, but if the coach declares 101, so this is just declaration, but not the change. The change in this case, the first change is 105, and the second change is 107. So those are accepted. And of course, the last 30 seconds, no change can be available. For example, if the athlete succeeded 100 kilo at the first attempt and they want to take the 101 kilo for the second attempt. In this case, the computer already says 101 kilo. However, if the coach do not declare 101 kilo, then they must follow the automatic weight, and there will not be available for the further change. And automatic weight applies in the following cases: 1 kilo up after the good lift in the previous attempt, and same weight after the no lift in the previous attempt. So even though you want to take the weight which is shown on the scoreboard, if you do not write those weight within the first 30 seconds, you cannot change after that. Sometimes the coach can change their mind, but if they do not declare within the first 30 seconds, you cannot change the weight anymore. And this is the actual athlete card. On the top of the second attempt and the third attempt, these cells are the space only for marshals. The coaches can write your declaration from the top of the second attempt and third attempt. And whichever the attempt was finished, the marshals can circle if the attempt was good lift, and you can strike, for example, first attempt, you can strike out the second change cell. Then coaches will not use this cell. Second attempt, the athletes tried 130, but it was no lift. So you can strike the 130, then first change place, second change place, you can strike out. Coaches sometimes rush and running to come to the marshal's table. So they are a little bit upset in such case. So they are easy to feel in the wrong place. And if it happens, it could be a cause of catastrophe. So you should avoid this kind of simple mistakes as much as possible. You can see at the second attempt, after the first attempt good lift 120, then the marshal can fill 121, which means 1 kilo up after the good lift of 120 in the automatic weight cell. And the third attempt, because 130 was not good lift at the second attempt, so you can fill 130 in the automatic weight cell. After 30 seconds, at the first attempt, they wrote 120, but the time is expired. You can strike out the second change. And the same for second attempt. After they declared 130, but the last 30 seconds is expired, then you can strike out the first change cell and the second change cell. And for the third attempt, the coach didn't come to the marshal's table, and they need to apply the automatic weight, and the time expired for the last deadline. Then marshals can strike these declared weight and first change and second change. And please always remember the 20 kilos rule. So as you know, for example, entry total is 205 kilos, which means the total of the first attempt must not be lower than 185. So if the first attempt of the snatch was 85, then clean and jerk minimum weight is 100. If the first attempt of the snatch was 75, then minimum weight for the clean and jerk is 110. If the snatch first attempt was 82, then if the coach came to decrease to 100, you have to refuse this. And some people is confusing about 20 kilos rule. For example, entry total was 205 kilos. And the coach wrote 85 for the snatch, 100 for the clean and jerk at the weighing. This is acceptable. Then, in the snatch, this athlete actually started from 85. Then, at the second attempt, he succeeded 88. And the third attempt, he succeeded 90 kilos. Some coaches still misunderstanding this rule that these athletes can decrease 5 kilo for the first attempt of the clean and jerk, which means 95. This is wrong. 20 kilos total must be calculated by using only the first attempt. So please be careful. And during the snatch, if the chief marshal notices the error in the warm-up area, they can suggest, or they should suggest to the athlete or coaches. If you want to decrease the first attempt of the snatch, you have to increase the first attempt of clean and jerk. Are you okay? So this phrase you can remember. But snatch, they can do anything. But crucial is clean and jerk. If the chief marshal or technical controller notice the error in the warm-up area, they should suggest the athletes or coaches, you have to take the first attempt, for example, 105 kilo or more. Otherwise, they will miss the attempt. It becomes no lift. And during the World Championships or Olympic Games, there are warning information appears. If IWF-TIS is used or Omega system at the Olympic Games, if some athletes need to adjust 20 kilos rule, the monitors for TIS operator or Marshal's table and the jury table show warning messages. Only those people can see the warning, and the spectators cannot see this warning. And for the coaches, normally the monitor for the coaches is the copy of the scoreboard, or only for the coaches. Such a monitor doesn't show this warning also. So only the jury, marshal, and the TIS operator can find this kind of the message. So, for example, IWF-TIS shows the relevant athletes, the red small square, and also what is wrong with the 20 kilos rule. Now, sometimes Chief Marshal received a lot of requests at once from many coaches. For example, when the speaker says, loaders 150 kilos please, then some athletes wants to change 150 to 151, some athletes 150 to 155, some athletes 152 to 55, and some athletes 150 to 149. And sometimes Chief Marshal thinks, oh my God, what I can do. In that case, deal with the lowest weight or earliest acid to be called first. You have to deal with this kind of acid first. And of course, you have to check the timing clock and also validity, which means wait or time or calling order. In this case, the speaker says loaders 150 kilos, please. So you have to deal with the athletes who wants to change 150 to 149. But it must be done. The timing clock is running for 150. So you must be quick also. So you can find 149 first. So call the operator. Hello, number 5, 149. And number 2, 151. Like that. So please stay calm, and you do not need to care who came to the table first. So you can see what is going on, what the coach is, right? Then speak to the operator. So validity for decreasing. Increasing is easy, but decreasing, you need to be careful. And you have to decide quickly if it is possible or not possible. So you have to check the current weight. When the barbell is more weight than requested weight and the timing clock is going, then the athlete cannot reduce to, for example, on the platform 156 or more, and the competition is going on with the timing clock is going on, then the athlete's request for 155, you have to refuse. And the request for 155 is invalid if the athlete was called for 156 and timing clock has been already started. And also, as I explained in the other slide, we have to think over the sequence of the competition. For example, athlete number 2 is doing 130, 150, 155. Number 3 is doing 130, 145, and 157. So if the athlete number 2 was called for 155 and the timing clock has been already started for this 155, then request for number 3's 155 is invalid. And of course, you have to observe 20 kilos rule if the first attempt of the clean and jerk. So some tips to stay calm. Always prepare your own red pen and black pens. So whenever I travel abroad, I always bring my several red pens and several black pens, because sometimes organizing committee do not prepare these kind of pens so quickly, especially for the red pens. So you should be ready to bring your own pens from your country. It is better for you. And always you need to concentrate the current weight of the barbell and announcement and timing clock. Sometimes the jury reverses the decision. So you have to be careful also for the announcement. If some silence happens, then something may happen. And compare weights on the cards and scoreboard monitor from time to time if all the changes are made correctly. And whenever you have time, I recommend you to put black pen on the next athlete card to be ready for the quick changes. And be prepared for the possible decreasing as much as possible. And one more tip, whenever the team has two athletes, sometimes coaches may make mistake. For example, he wants to change for the athlete B, but he makes a mistake, write the next weight for the B on the athlete A's athlete card. So whenever some team has two athletes, then always I recommend you to check with the coach if the coach is writing on the right correct athlete card. So these are my tips. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Reiko. Excellent presentation. And now we will have a 5 minutes break before we continue with Milan, technical controller. Thank you again, Reiko. Thank you again, Pedro. You can see some of your questions having been answered. So please check it and see you in 5 minutes. Take care. Welcome again. We are ready to continue. And our next presenter, our friend Milan. Milan, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to Panamerica and good evening from Europe, from Belgrade. It's midnight in Serbia, and now I will talk about the technical controller, his main duties, and how he manage his job. There is no more important or less important duties of technical officials. All technical officials are important. Timekeeper, jury, referees, chief marshal. If just one of them don't work good, it means all competition cannot go well. So technical controller have, I can say, maybe double duty. One is to take care about the technical and competition rules and regulation, and another one is to give good image of weightlifting technical officials. Why I said that? The reason is because the technical controller is very often close to the athletes, and he is very often televised. So the television usually follow the athletes, and it can happen that the technical controller is also followed. I just want to check, do you see the presentation? Please, can somebody confirm me? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, Milan, continue. We are seeing
okay.
it.
Okay. So the technical controller have to work very closely with at least two persons, but with all other technical officials, but especially very close with competition director and with the jury president. It is very necessary to have always eye contact between technical controller and the jury president. Technical controller always have to look on the way to the president of the jury to follow what he wants. If maybe he wants to stop the competition, in that case, the technical controller has some special duties. What is the role of the competition director? There are many, and I will just remind you the most important that are connected with the technical controller. So it is to supervise the lifting order, and it is to monitor and enforce this 20-kilo rule. So this is also the duty of the competition director, but it is very close with the duties of the technical controller. When we are talking about the duties of the jury, there are so many. During the whole period of the competition, jury has a lot of things to do, but I will just remind you that there are some duties before the competition. It means during the weighing process, but also during the introduction, during the snatch, during the break, during the clean and jerk, and after that, during the victory ceremony. So during all this period, technical controller on some way coordinate and work together with the jury, especially with the jury president. Very important thing is how the technical controller will behave. So he must allow to athletes to concentrate. He cannot disturb him. This is absolutely not good. And Athlete can make good result only if he is concentrated on the thing that he is doing. It means technical controller cannot interfere in his preparation. He cannot, it is not good to touch him and to move around him a lot. It is good if technical controller can imagine himself as in a role of the athlete or as a coach or as the audience. In that case, he can predict how all of them would behave, and he can maybe perhaps do his job much better if he is in his skin. Technical controller cannot stand so much close to the athlete because it will disturb him. Usually, if technical controller wants to tell something to athlete, it is much better to tell to the coach, and after that coach can tell to the athlete what he wants. It is also important that technical controller never appear as a team official, but not just technical controller, but all other technical officials. It is also not good if the technical controller don't do his job on a proper way, and if he behave like just spectator. So he is not spectator, person who follow the competition. He should be very active. This is also important to emphasize. If there is broadcasting, don't disturb TV crew, don't be in front of camera, don't go to the platform if it is not necessary, because the main actor of the competition is the athlete. After that, coach, and after that, technical officials. So technical officials should avoid to be in front of the camera. It is really not necessary. What are the main duty of the technical controller? There is a very long list. We will see now all these duties, and I will not read these duties because we will go one by one and discuss about all these duties. Just a moment for the slide. So there are so many jobs, and this is one of the reasons why we have two technical controllers. The second reason why there are two, it is because there are usually two different spaces. We have warming up area and we have field of play, the place where is the competition. I mean the platform. So we need two persons who should very close cooperate between each other. Of course, they should change their roles. I mean, for example, during the snatch, one technical controller can be in warming up area, and during the clean and jerk, another one can go inside. As we mentioned, there are many duties, but for example, they can make agreement that inside of warming up area, during the snatch, one technical controller will check the number of the team officials. He will also assist to the chief marshal and help him, especially according to 20 kilo rules, and especially about the changing, going up or down, also to check the outfit of the athletes. The other technical controller who is near to the platform, he also can check the number of team officials. Of course, the main duty is lifting order, is the weight on the bar correct, and many other duties. So anyway, they should change after any discipline. How they will stand and where they will stand, it depends, of course, a lot from the shape of the competition venue. For example, maybe they will be very close in first example, because Chief Marshal desk is very close to the exit to the platform. But in the case if the desk of the Chief Marshal is separately in the other room, so in that case the technical controller will be also very close to the Chief Marshal desk in the other room. This is on the screen. Now you can see probably the best ideal venue, how we can imagine it. So in this case, one technical controller is inside, very close to the Marshal desk. He can follow the exit to the platform, and then another one is close to the platform, and he can check which athletes go outside, and he can also check the weight on the bar. So now we will talk about duties one by one. First, probably most important, is to ensure that field of play and equipment are compliant with technical and competition rules and the regulation. What does it mean? Inside the venue, it should be completely according to the technical and competition rules and the regulation. It should be safe and comfortable for the athletes. It means, for example, there should be at least 1 meter distance between two platforms in the warming up area. It also should be checked, is it comfortable enough for the team officials and for the athletes. Now you can see one example of the field of play, and it happened during the Rio Olympic Games. You can see here the rail for the camera. One athlete was on the platform, and when he finished the attempt, he suddenly lose his conscious and fall down between the platform, between the stage and this rail for the camera. So it was very good that there was enough space between these rails for the camera and the stage, and it provided that there was not injured of the athlete. But what I wish to tell you, it is that the duty of the technical controller is to check, are the venue completely safe. Of course, there are some special regulation if it is some huge competition like Olympic Games, and the technical controller cannot do so much, but he can just check with the jury president, is everything okay. So in warming up area, technical controller should check the bars, collars, magnesium, rosin, is there everything there. After that, are the stage completely safe? I mean, there shouldn't be anything. The platform and the stage should be completely empty without any nails or staples or gaps. The bars and platforms should be cleaning. Especially it is important today in Corona period. So there should be some special disinfection materials that should be used. There shouldn't be garbage. Of course, it's almost every competition is broadcasting, and it is not nice to have the stage with the garbage or around the stage. Technical controller also should check, is there some person who take care about security in warming up area and not allowed to enter to everybody, just to enter to the persons who have pass license. It is also important to check, are the monitors switched on? In case if it happened that the screen board or attempt board or the screen with the movie stop, Chief Marshal cannot go outside because he don't have enough time. He must be there with the athletes. So in that case, the technical controller will quickly go to the outside to the persons who take care about technicians, and they will repair it. The technical controller also should, before the competition, check, are there red and white flags for the referees. If there are any problem, technical controller should report it to the jury president and the competition director, and of course they all together will solve the problem. Second important duty of the technical controller is to ensure that all on-duty technical officials wear the correct uniform. You all know how this uniform looks like. You can see on the screen our colleagues Reiko and Joe, they wear the correct referee uniform. You can see also this uniform on me. It's navy blue jacket, trousers, white shirt, special tie, and so on. At multi-sport games, for example, like Olympic Games, Youth Olympic Games, only the uniform which is issued by the organizing committee may be worn. And now you have example. In the upper photo, you have the standard uniform for the technical officials, and down you can see the special uniform which was used for the Youth Olympic, last Youth Olympic Games. What I want to show you on this photo, for example, technical controller should check before the presentation of the technical officials, are they completely correctly dressed, and you can see on the upper photo that some technical official didn't close their jacket. Modern technology also, you can imagine, show everything. It means in down photo you can see the technical controller who was sitting. It is not nice. It is especially not nice if it is televised. And please be careful and do your job as best as you can. Next duty of the technical controller is to inspect athlete's outfit and correct when necessary. It means that the technical controller should inspect the outfit before the snatch, after that before the clean and jerk, and also he should check the outfit before the winner presentation, but also before the introduction of the athletes. So there are some rules, especially during the Olympic Games. there are the rules what athlete can wear, and all this information you can find on IWF website. In download section you have athlete's outfit file, and you have clarification of technical competition rules and regulation, athlete's outfit file, and you can check how it should looks like. So when you should warn the athlete, you cannot do it so early, you cannot do it so late. But anyway, if the athlete is already on the platform, don't go to the platform to warn him. It is not nice, it is not good, because it was your duty to check it before the athlete goes to the platform. So the technical controller should check always follow the lifting order, and he can just to know who is the next lifter, and in warming up area he can check is the outfit correct or not. What I also want to mention, the technical controller should follow not just the outfit but also the tape on the and plasters on the athlete. So you can see here one example. The color of this tape was very close to the skin color, and technical controller definitely didn't see it, but you can see it is very close to the forbidden area. You can see another photo, so you can also see that the athlete had the tape in the region of the elbow, so it was duty of the technical controller to stop him. Here is also another photo, one more photo, and one more photo. It was interesting that this athlete used this tape only for the third attempt. We have the photo when it was first, second, and he didn't use the tape, and for the third attempt he put it, and unfortunately technical controller didn't notice. Here is also one thing forbidden that technical controller should check and see. Next role, very important, is to ensure that only authorized team officials accompany the athletes. It means that during the weigh-in period, the team official will get the passes during the weigh-ins. If there is one athlete from one team, there will be 3 passes. If there are 2 athletes, 4. For any additional athletes, there will be 2 more. Of course, it is the case if it is a group with mixed body weight categories. So all the team officials have to wear on themselves these passes, and they cannot be inside if they don't have it. So for one athlete, they have 3 passes and no more. It is very important to all of them who don't have the passes to ask them to go out. So in this photo you can see how many persons was watching one attempt. This photo is long time ago made, but anyway, just 3 persons could be could follow this attempt. It means it is not easy for a technical controller always to count how many team officials are inside, but it is necessary to count. Of course, there are many other things that technical controllers should do, and this is the reason why the organizers of the competition should provide the assistance of the persons from security. So they should stop all the persons who don't have the pass to enter to the warming up area or to the competition area. If there is no pass, they cannot enter to the warming up area. If they don't want to listen you, you should ask them politely once, second time, and after that, if they don't want to follow your request to them to go outside, you have to report it to the jury president, and he will find a way what to do. Next very important role of the technical controller is to monitor the lifting order and to be sure that correct athlete goes on the stage. So the technical controller has to listen the announcement, he has to look at the attempt board, and he has to check the athlete bib number. It is not easy. Of course, in meantime, he has to look at the jury table and to follow if there are some instruction for the jury president. So, and beside this, he also should check the weight on the platform, on the bar. So there are many important things that technical controller should follow in one single moment. Before the athlete go out on the stage, this is the last opportunity to check the outfit of the athlete. It is also important how the technical controller will behave. He is not police officer, he is not security, and he shouldn't touch the athlete. If the athlete was announced, the technical controller should allow to athlete to go to the stage. So the loader probably could in this moment manage the weight, manage with the disc, but this is not important. If the athlete was announced and his name was on the screen, the technical controller should allow him to go to the stage. So please don't touch with hand the athletes. Try with your gesture, try with your eyes to show them, is it time to go on the stage or it is not time. Only in case if the athlete is not called to go, if the name of the athlete is not called, in that case, the technical controller should stop athlete and don't allow him to go on the stage. Otherwise, if he is announced, he can go. And just to remind you once again, use words, gesture, and eye contact, and explained to athlete, can he go or he cannot go. Next important role what the technical controller should do is to monitor the change of weights and the 20 kilo rule. It means the technical controller who is inside in warming up area, he should cooperate very closely with the chief marshal, and with him he can together check is it allowed to go down or up in the correct time on the request of the coaches. Next important duty is to control the cleaning of the bar and the platform. But don't go often to the stage. So there are the loaders. Loaders are usually weightlifters or ex-weightlifters. There is the person who control and who gives command to the loaders. He is usually very experienced person in weightlifting. So you can make agreement with him if he noticed the blood or something on the stage. The loaders can do it without communication with the technical controller, so they can just do by themselves when they see that there is a job that they should do it. Only in case that the loaders don't see the blood, for example, on the platform, in that case, the technical controller should warn them and invite them to clean it. Anyway, it is important to talk with loaders in advance before the competition starts. Next important duty of the technical controller is to ensure the athlete's safety. It means that technical controller must stop team officials from going up on the stage when the athlete is injured. Only the competition doctor can go up and touch the athlete. Many of you are drivers, and all of you learned about the first aid. One of the very important thing, if you touch the injured person, you can make him more trouble. So it is very danger. It is very important that only a person who knows how to manage with injuries to be in contact with injured person. So in weightlifting, we have the competition doctor, and he is the person who will first come and check what is going on with injured athletes. So don't allow to the coaches or the others to touch the injured athletes or allowed them to go to the platform. There was many examples that competition doctor really save athletes from very serious injury because they are professional and they know how to manage and how to treat with injured athletes. So don't allow to anyone else to go and try to help to athletes. Only in case when the doctor said, the other person can come and help to the injured athletes to go out of the stage. The duty of the loader would be to be in front of the injured athlete. It is not nice to see the person who is suffering, who is injured. So the loaders will be in front of the injured athletes and just not allowed to the spectators to see that ugly situation. The next duty of the technical controller is to assist the victory ceremony preparation. It is very necessary to cooperate with organizers because if it is a huge event like, for example, Olympic Games, there are some special things that should be done. So there will be the person who will also assist to you. But what is important, it is first to find who won the medals. So the technical controller should check who are the medalists, invite them, and put them in correct order. Also, it is important that technical controller can help to the doping controller procedure, to assist them, to show them the athlete, or if they have some other question, if they can help, to help them. Here is one example from the Rio Olympic Games. There was the paper on the floor, and it was very easy to know the position of all participants of the victory ceremony. So there are athletes, there are medal presenters, there are gift presenters, and so on. And this is one possible way how to make it easier. One more thing, the technical controller should check the side where will be the number of the athletes. It means if the exit to the stage is on the right side, I mean on the right side from the position where the jury was where the jury watching the athletes, it means that on the left legs must be the number. If the entry is on the left side, the number should be on the right legs. This is also important to know for the victory ceremony. If the entry is on the right side, the order of the athletes who are going on the stage should be the second lifter, first lifter, and the third. If the athletes go to the stage from the left side, the order will be the lifter who got the bronze medal, after that the gold, and after that the silver medal. Please also make sure that medal winners cannot take any electronic devices onto the podium. Especially don't allow them to take mobile phones or photo camera or some other things. In a big event, for example, like Olympic Games, it is also not allowed to take the national flag. You can just be in your national dress with the emblem of your Olympic committee, but not with the flag. So there are always some special rules for the special competition. It is also not allowed for the participants of the victory ceremony to demonstrate some political or racial or religious statement. So if there are some possibility that such things will happen, it would be nice to warn the athletes and technical and the team delegation that it is not allowed. Also important duty of the technical controller is during the challenge. So if the challenge happened, you will see it immediately on the screen. You can see the challenge card, and you will see that the competition is stopped. So it happened only if we have the video play technology. There are two possibilities. The jury will stop, or it will be the team challenge. If it is the case that it is team challenge, team technical controller should immediately inform about that team want the challenge, and the competition will be immediately stopped. It means that the coach must have the challenge card with him. So immediately when he is not satisfied with the decision of the referee, he must give the challenge card to the technical controller. What is the right time for the challenge? It means before the timing clock is started for the next attempt, it is acceptable, or the next athlete having been called and appear on the stage, whatever is the last. It means that the next athlete hasn't been called yet, or he is called but clock haven't been started yet, or he is called, clock has been starting, but the next athlete is still not on the stage, or the next athlete is called, athlete is on the stage, but clock hasn't been started yet because the loaders are still on the stage. So this is the case when it is possible to have a challenge. But in case if the athlete is called, clock has been started and athlete is on the stage, in that case it is late to accept the challenge. Of course, there are many other duties of the technical controllers and what he has to do. To remind you once again, it is very important to have always eye contact with the jury. After each attempt, technical controller should turn his head to the jury president and to see if there is something going on, if it is necessary to stop the competition. And when the jury president stop the competition, the technical controller should go to the jury president. When jury reverse the decision, the technical controller will be called to the jury table and asked to deliver the information to the technical information system operator, to the speaker, and to the relevant team. It means that the colleague of your colleague, the second one, technical controller, should follow what is going on. It means that the second technical controller should come on your place near the stage and not to allow to any athletes to go up to the stage. So this is the typical situation when technical controller come to the jury table and when the jury president give instruction to the technical controller. When you stay in the warming up area, it is also important to follow the referee's decision every time, especially if it is 2-1 or 1-2, I mean red, 1 red, 2 white or opposite, because in that case it is possible that there will be a challenge, or it is possible that jury will stop the competition and the video with the video play technology, they will check what had happened. It is also important to listen the announcement, because in announcement the technical controller would hear that the competition is stopped or there is a pause in the announcement, and it is necessary to follow such things. It is also necessary always to cooperate with the technical controller who is outside, I mean with our colleague. So that was all from me, and thank you very much for your listening of this presentation.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Milan. Thank you for your excellent presentation. I will tell that I am very impressed because we did everything in time. So let's finish with some remarks. You have received 3 different topics, and we will prepare a new seminar in English and in Spanish with another 3 topics very soon, in a couple of weeks. With the cooperation, of course, as always, of the technical committee of the IWF. I will give the floor to Mr. Nico Blatt to close this seminar, and thank you again for everybody to join us today. Thank you. Nico, you have the floor. Your microphone, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Jose, and thank you all of you who give us a hand to organize this seminar. I believe we did the right thing. As we mentioned, for this situation, we have to adapt ourselves and to reinvent ourselves, because other than that, we will disappear. So for sure, in near future, we will have competition video online in all these things. We have to develop all this new technology. We have to use practically the new technology. So thank you for all of you to be with us. Thank you for the support, and I wish good luck for all of you in the future. And stay healthy. That's most important.
Thank you, Nico. I forgot it. My apologies. To give the floor, Joseph Triolo, to thank everybody in behalf of the Pan-American Weightlifting Technical Commission. Joseph, you have the floor.
Yes, I would like all the American officials and athletes who tuned in to this webinar, and the Pan Am Association, along with the IWF committee, looks forward to many more of these webinars to ensure that our technical officials get all the information necessary to officiate in the right fashion. And thank you again.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Pedro, Milan, Reiko, Soli. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.